I think I found my space around that. It helped because it was your own company, of course. That was a huge advantage. But at the same time, even if it's your own company, you cannot take it for granted that you're just going to float in and float out. There has to be something that you're doing of value. And I think around that time, I started picking up, and around that time and a little later, I started picking up skills that I really didn't have before. And I'm really grateful for that, because I literally said, okay, I can take care of this. I can take care of this as well. And therefore, as I went along, I learned, I picked up new skills. I moved into areas that I had never ever thought I would actually, do. I mean, things like finance, or things like HR or legal. Those are not the things that a journalist does. But here I was, I found the thrill of really learning new things. It's never going to be easy being a parent, being a mother, particularly for a woman, being a mother, and making choices really about, when they have to raise a family, and making choices whether they would like to stay at home and look after their children, or whether they would like to go back to work. To me, it is going to be tough. It is going to be something that a mother should never be pushed to choose, because really both are important. Really, I think for her to engage into the workforce in whatever manner, in terms of time, and to be with her children is equally important. And there has to be a sensitization in terms of, mothers, in terms of this whole situation. There has to be a sensitization from the workspace as well as from the home space for women to be able to do that. I think women have to be afforded that kind of space, that kind of not having the social stigma attached to it. Oh, you're going to go off on a leave now you're not interested in your work. Those are the kind of things that come up. You're not really interested in your work, you're just raising a family. Is that not important? I think the most important, particularly in this in the environment that we are growing up in situations, the social orders are changing in our country, where more and more women are going into the workspace. They do need the support, they need sensitization, they need people to understand that what they are doing is a monumental task. It is not something that should be just, as I said earlier, parenting for a mother is not something that is not important, or that shouldn't be given its due. And I think we really need to get up and understand, and all women and men should understand that this is a very, very important and pivotal process, and they have to put their might together to make certain allowances so that women. I'm glad that people around are waking up to a little bit of that reality, but we have a long way to go. For women generally, I think time and how you manage that time and what kind of resources you have to utilize whatever resources you have to make it happen for you, because otherwise it's not going to happen. Nobody is going to understand your plight, and nobody is going to really give you a hand and say, okay, oh, you are having a baby, so let me just give you a helping hand. It's got to be you have to understand that. You have to go there, you have to be at the workplace, you have to have your mind engaged, and then thereafter also be a super mom. Both have to work together, and I did manage to try to do that. I'm not saying that I'm the best mother in the world, but I think when I look at my children now, I think it was very important that I did spend that time with them. Never an easy decision, but I think women have to grapple with this at some point of their lives, and I think they have to divide their time in such a way, or manage their time in such a way that both things happen, and both things happen equally well. She will be torn. A mother is always going to be torn between these two things, but I don't think it's something that's not surmountable. But it does put an extra strain on a person and a mother, when she's trying to do that. And really, at the end of the day, there are going to be opportunities. There are going to be lots of things that you can do once your kids are in school and once they're a little more stable. There are going to be tons of things and opportunities for you. So I think the insecurity that there will be nothing after I'm, technically laid off for raising children, I think we underestimate our strength. We underestimate what we are, and we underestimate that we have miles to go and we'll conquer it all. I think it's something I've learned